For whatever reason, the search suggestions you get after typing in 3 @ symbols all seem to show you the same weird mix.
What is this? Huh? She and her laptop gotcha heat? Yo, she's playing guitar, clearly, guys, right? IMG7988. Why is there cream everywhere? Why is there cream all over him? Due to the invasion of adults or R-rated content on many social media platforms, companies often will make a kids version of said social media platform in order to, you know, have kids on the platform. One of which, YouTube. YouTube Kids, all the child-friendly content is supposed to be on there. But what if I told you that was not the case? And actually, disturbing, dark, horrific, mysterious, mischievous, disgusting content is hidden on there. So today we're gonna be checking out the horrors on YouTube Kids.
When YouTube first launched in 2005.
Were y'all around for this old YouTube like this? Yo, if you were, you should have a pension. You should have a social security already signed up. You should already have a 401k heavily contributed to.
It very obviously was not intended for kids. Not a lot of people know this, but the platform you're watching this video on right now was originally built to be a dating site.
What?
Yeah, the idea was that you would upload a video introducing yourself, and then
I'm a male seeking females between 18 and 45. I hope and pray, YouTube, do not let me know that this number was below 18. Why is there an arrow pointing down? There should not be an arrow pointing down. There should be an arrow only pointing up, bro.
You could watch introduction videos from other users and message them if you liked what you saw. Kind of like those weird dating videotapes from the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
I'm a nice fellow. I don't know.
I'm particularly attracted to black women and women of different races, so...
Okay, Unc, okay. And then this dude talking about, I'm particularly a nice person. Meanwhile, he probably murdered like 15 people. He has like a stash of cocaine underneath his basement and 12 dogs that are dead and haven't been taken care of for the last like 35 years. People who say they're nice people are often not nice people. With that being said, I am indeed a nice person. So trust me with all your belongings.
Black women and women of different races, so if you like me, give me a call.
This idea wasn't very successful.
Okay.
In fact, according to one of YouTube's founders, Javed Karim, nobody was uploading dating introduction videos. But some people were using the site to upload other sorts of content.
Like what?
Dog videos, clips of family vacations.
Damn, this is like liminal spaces type of vibe. This looks creepy. It looks prehistoric, bro.
There didn't really need to be any sort of gimmick to make YouTube work. People are just happy to have an easy way to share their home videos with others.
Oh, look at the dogs, bro.
YouTube may have launched as a dating site in February 2005, but by June of that year, they had completely rebranded and revamped the platform
to what?
To remove all traces of its odd dating site beginnings.
Okay.
Much like other blossoming social media platforms at the time, YouTube...
This is Ryan Higa, bro. Shout out Ryan Higa, bro. This is the greatest Asian YouTuber of all time. Argue with your damn mom. Okay, top 5 is what? Ryan Higa, Wasabi Productions. After that, Loki, damn. Timothy De La Ghetto, The Fung Bros. Freaking, I don't know. I'm forgetting people. I know I'm forgetting people. I don't know why I can't think. Freaking, I don't know. Kev Jumba, dude.
Graphic for the first few years of his existence were teenagers.
How to be ninja.
This is pretty clear when you look at all the major YouTube stars in the early days of the site, who mostly appeared...
Bro, is this Fred? Do y'all remember Fred with It's Fred?
...to be high school or college students. I personally started using YouTube in 2007 when I was 11 years old. Back then...
You were 11 years old in 2007? He was born in the late 1900s, all right. Yes, we are now referring to the 90s as the late 1900s. I'm sorry if I make you feel old and you're watching this and you're born in the 90s, bro.
The only good way to use the site was to visit it in a browser on a computer, whether it was a laptop or desktop. Tablets didn't exist back then. The modern form of smartphones were still in their most primordial form and were mostly relegated to a select few tech enthusiasts.
Oh, I used to have one of these.
The only way to watch YouTube on a TV was to hook up a computer to it and use it as a monitor, which most people couldn't even do because CRTs were still the most widespread form of TV at the time, and the vast majority of tube TVs don't support the digital I/O of computers.
Bro, these brick robot TVs, bro, you was not around during these times where we had these TVs, when they had to bring these out during like rainy days in PE class in middle school, where we would watch The Sandlot, we watched Coach Carter, we had to watch Remember the Titans.
In short, YouTube was inconvenient, and that really prevented it from being used as a serious platform for anything. But that wouldn't be the case for very long. In the early 2010s, smartphones capable of high-speed cellular connections would...
Ew, Android spotted. No, I'm kidding. If you have Android, you're cool in my book. I used to have one too, bro. My battery fell out in the middle of class. I got flamed to hell, but it's okay. Brief intermission. If you're enjoying the video so far, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 30,000 subscribers. Thank you very much.
...explode and become widely adopted. iPads would kick off the consumer tablet market, which also exploded.
Yeah.
People would swap their bulky, aging CRT TVs for cheap and higher quality LCD panels, which could not only act as a computer monitor, but YouTube would even begin offering apps for game consoles and streaming boxes like Apple TV.
I feel like I speak for all of us when I say, if there was a way to go back to the old YouTube, we would do it just to, you know, explore this stuff. Like, there should be a way to like change the settings to make everything look back like how it was. Am I alone on that one?
Which are also becoming widely adopted. Gone were the days of sitting at your desk to watch Smosh's Food Battle.
Smosh,
now you
bro.
can watch PewDiePie on basically any media consumption device you own.
Okay. See, PewDiePie was a cool guy until he low-key spawned it with that N-word, but it's all good though.
They began using YouTube as a babysitter. Using traditional TV to keep your child docile meant keeping them in a specific room where the television was.
Docile?
But now, you could just hand them an iPad while you work in your office.
Facts.
Or cook a meal in the kitchen.
Bro, and that's how these kids are getting their brains absolutely rotted and turned to scrambled eggs, so do not do this, okay? Proceed with caution.
Tack on the fact that YouTube is free to use while other streaming services or cable all cost money, and YouTube began to be flooded with very young and impressionable viewers as the 2010s rolled on.
True.
Creators eventually began to catch on to the fact that the limited amount of child-focused content on YouTube at the time was getting an enormous amount of attention.
Oh yeah,
with
yeah,
some videos even amassing hundreds of
Bro,
millions.
I'm not gonna lie. If you want to become a good YouTuber, target kids. And do not make that weird pause. I know, okay, it sounds crazy. When you're a kid, you can watch the same thing over and over. Bro, I used to watch the same episode of Barney every single day. I didn't care. Put on that new Caillou. I don't care how many times it reruns. I'm watching that joint. These billions and billions of views are probably from one kid just rewatching the same video over and over and over. That's why these kid channel YouTubers, whatever, who make like Minecraft videos or Roblox videos, be eating good.
The views. Obviously, there was potentially a lot of money to be made by making videos aimed towards children.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of you know how that turned out. As long as television has been around, there's been an ongoing argument as to what is and isn't okay for children
This
to
is
be
Bill
watching.
Nye? This is Bill Nye the Science Guy? Kind of looks like him, but it's not. I don't think it is. Is it? Is it?
Some people say kids should only be consuming educational content, or TV with some sort of moral lesson to teach. Some people think it's not a big deal if children are watching fun, junk foody kind of shows every now and then.
I think get a good mix of both. But the thing is, like, you don't want to have your kid watching a show that's teaching like a moral lesson that you don't agree with exactly either, right? Like if they were teaching you, I don't know, oh, moral of the story, you know, women belong in the kitchen or something, you would want to turn that off, right? So at least with like junk food content, which hopefully you're not calling freaking Pokemon junk food. They're not learning anything harmful necessarily. Sometimes they're learning about murder and violence though.
Regardless though, whatever is on TV is generally governed by some sort of code of ethics.
I speak for all of us when I say we will be putting our kids in basements and turning them into the next LeBron James by sticking them in there with a basketball and turning the lights off and leaving them in that dark room, okay? You're not watching anything, actually.
Broadcasters all have a reputation to uphold, and no category of television gets quite as scrutinized as kids' TV. But on YouTube in the mid-2010s, the only scrutiny children's channels faced was YouTube's then fairly lax moderation system. There was no code of ethics or enforced morality. The only thing that mattered was whether or not you were getting views.
Okay.
As a result, a culture of shocking kids content emerged on YouTube.
Okay.
Which you probably already know.
What the?
ElsaGate.
What? Is that Spider-Man grabbing freaking Elsa's titties? Who the heck uploaded this? This is borderline CP, bro. H3. Of course.
Which you probably already know as ElsaGate.
I've never heard of that, bro.
Sleazy creators will make videos with popular kids characters like Elsa from Frozen, getting into obscene and often graphically violent situations. I probably don't need to.
Was that like a skit of a dude watching CP? What? Like, I'm confused. Isn't Elsa like 12 years old or something? A kid?
Tell you much about ElsaGate since you almost certainly know what it was about.
What is this?
Being a young child on YouTube.
No. Let me move so I can see. What is Elsa doing? When did Elsa ever do this? Doesn't Elsa have like a snowman and is she cutting off her tongue? Bro, what the hell is ElsaGate? Do y'all know what this is? You talking about this like it's famous. Am I missing something?
In the mid-2010s, meant being
What
confronted
is
with your
ElsaGate?
favorite characters getting their limbs torn off, being injected with mystery chemicals, getting pregnant, and other bizarre and shocking scenarios that only served one purpose.
Elsa gets pregnant. Elsa takes a poop.
Stand out from other creators so your videos get more views and you make more money.
Wow, bro. Wow.
ElsaGate was a giant controversy.
What the?
And YouTube would begin to try to mitigate the platform's issues that had caused such a depraved niche to emerge.
Yeah.
They'd slowly harden their content moderation system to the point where even saying certain words in a video was enough to get it age restricted and demonetized.
Like what?
As every YouTuber is well aware of. They'd release a completely separate app called YouTube Kids that only contained a more curated selection of channels deemed appropriate for children, which would eventually go on to solely feature human review
This is where all the brain rot stems, spawns, exists, lives, and flourishes.
channels. But most importantly for our story, in 2020, YouTube would give creators the ability to mark their own videos as made for kids.
Okay.
it was clear that many parents were not using YouTube Kids and were still just handing kids iPads with the regular YouTube app.
Just being lazy, bro.
So YouTube made an effort.
Do not give your kid freaking unsupervised social media usage of any platform. I don't care with YouTube Kids. My kid could be on YouTube Kids. I'm still monitoring that, bro. I'm checking him going, looking over his shoulder and stuff, making sure he's not watching the crazy content, bro, because I do not trust the internet. Do not trust the internet. I feel like Gen Z is gonna be better parents when it comes to, like, you know, media consumption and things like that, because we know what was going on. We know what traumatized us, okay? We remember scrolling on the internet and then coming across 2 girls, 1 cup, 1 guy, 1 jar, okay? And if you don't know what that is, do not Google it. Do not.
Separate kids content from non-kids content on the full version of YouTube. If you mark your video as made for kids, it disables the comment section, the mini player, targeted advertisements, and changes your video's place in the algorithm.
Interesting.
Even if you don't mark your video as made for kids, YouTube will sometimes just automatically do it anyways without your permission.
Why?
If it thinks your video is kid-friendly. This automatic moderation doesn't really work very well and can sometimes lead to a very strange array of quote-unquote made-for-kids content.
Yeah, because if you're using a freaking AI algorithm to determine whether something's made for kids or not, you need to have a human to understand, like, context and stuff.
A lot of videos I've covered on this channel have been marked as made for kids. Like these stop-motion animations that recreate actual gore videos and often use the original violent audio.
I told
and
you.
Also this channel that features shrink-wrapped body parts, which is probably just an art project, but still not appropriate for children in the slightest.
Right, yeah.
It makes you wonder, what other bizarre videos are out there in the deep expanses?
IMG7988. What is in this bag? Is it a pleasure toy? Is it drugs? What is it?
Bizarre videos are out there in the deep expanses of YouTube that have been marked as made for kids and are showing up on children's homepages.
Okay.
That was the original goal of this video. Find some strange and creepy clips marked as made for kids and investigate them like I do in my other videos. But as I started researching, I quickly learned that the world of kids content and children's YouTube accounts is a whole lot more complicated than I initially thought.
Okay.
I mistakenly assumed that I could just set a YouTube account to some sort of restricted mode for children that would only show me content marked as made for kids.
Okay.
That's not the case at all.
So what happened?
Let's start with YouTube Kids. Making an account here is simple. All you need to do is log in with your normal YouTube account and create a kids profile.
Okay.
Like I said before, this is an entirely separate site and only really features human review channels.
Mikey and JJ have a crazy stalker in Minecraft. See, I don't know, bro. Maybe I'm a little crazy and I'm an OD parent, but dude, having crazy stalker, I don't want my kid to even be thinking about that concept as a freaking, I don't know, 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old. I don't know. That's how a kid, by the way, that's how kids like learn weird tendencies and stuff. And it's like, how do you even know that, bro? Like, there'll be a freaking 5-year-old kid that walks up to you and be like, let's stalk them, let's stalk them.
So you're not gonna find much out of the ordinary here.
Okay.
This isn't really what I wanted to cover.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about the Wild West aspect of made for kids content,
which is?
We will return to YouTube Kids near the end of the video. Making a kids profile in the main YouTube app is a lot more confusing.
Okay.
Whenever you watch a video that's been marked as made for kids, there used to be a little YouTube Kids disclaimer next to the video description.
Okay.
But that's now been replaced on most videos with a link to this Choices for Families page that explains the different ways you can watch kids content on YouTube.
Okay.
You can either choose between a YouTube Kids profile or a kids account on the full YouTube site.
Makes sense.
Which will supposedly only show you made for kids content.
Right.
You can apparently set all this up through a family management page on your YouTube settings. When I checked this out, I saw the YouTube Kids profile I set up, and there was also a way to invite a different YouTube account to enter my family group as a supervised member.
Okay, so you can make a family account.
I assumed that this was how you would set up a kids account on YouTube, but this actually sets up a supervised teen account, which has access to basically everything on YouTube, the only real difference being that your family group manager can see all your activity.
My teen is also not getting unsupervised access to, you know what I'm saying, everything, because teen, you're still a freaking kid. Until you're like really like 17, 18, you're still pretty impressionable, bro. A lot of the weirdest content I came across was when I was like 13, 14, and I was like, what the heck is this? I don't want to have my kid come across that same canon event of watching a cartel video on a random Friday afternoon and a dude getting his head knocked off.
It took a little while to figure this out, as it's really not clear. But to set up a YouTube Kids account, you actually need to make an entirely separate Google account from scratch.
Okay.
In this case, we're going to be making a Google account for our cat, Gordy, who's turning 8 years old this year.
What up, Gordy?
We're just going to say he's 9. Don't tell YouTube.
Okay.
You go through the account creation process, but you have to make sure to select an age under 13. Then I'll prompt you for your parents' email, and from there you can set up a kid's profile.
Okay.
Something interesting here is that you have to press accept on a disclaimer that basically says, we can't fully guarantee that the content your child sees on the platform will be appropriate. which is not something you have to do when signing up for YouTube
Some videos and music may be unsuitable for kids.
Kids. You also have to choose a level of content restriction. For the sake of this video, we're going to choose the tightest restriction.
Okay,
which
make it
YouTube
tight.
claims should be suitable for ages 9 and up. Finally, we have a kid's YouTube account. You would think that now we should only be able to see content that's been marked as made for kids.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Wrong?
not the case. This is what my homepage looks like. The only search I
Vogue Japan, and it's a girl holding her belly. I made a very touchable main menu. Police searching for a masked box demon. I'm posting vids when I'm about to be late for school, okay? You're encouraging kids to go to school late. Hide under your bed. Why is there cream everywhere? Why is there cream all over them?
But the thing is, basically all of these videos are not marked as made for kids.
Yeah, okay.
In fact, I've been clicking around for a few minutes and I haven't come across a single made for kids video.
Okay.
There is some filtering happening though. If we look at my channel, for example, the only video that's been deemed safe enough for kids is the video I made about the most mysterious song on the internet. Everything else on my channel is gone. If we look at a larger horror creator like Nexpo, nothing of his is available.
That makes sense. I mean, horror content in general should not be available for freaking kids, right? Can we all agree on that at least?
It would appear that YouTube is more or less completely disregarding the made for kids setting and is instead using some other automatic filtering to mark certain videos and categories as safe for kids.
Okay.
Which kind of begs the question, why even have a made for kids toggle if it doesn't do anything?
Yeah.
I would say a lot of the channels on the YouTube Kids app have been marked as made for kids, but a surprisingly large amount aren't. Marquez Brownlee and Mr. Beast certainly do not mark their videos as made for kids.
Right.
And the majority of gaming channels here aren't made for kids either. It would appear that either you or YouTube marking videos as made for kids basically does
This is made for kids?
nothing except restrict audience interaction on videos and doesn't actually affect a video's actual visibility to real kids. This made for kids setting kind of reeks of a deprecated Google feature, and I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't just get straight up removed in the
So it seems just like a flawed setting, no? Like, what is the point of having this feature?
next couple of years. But let's not get too off track. I started this video to see what inappropriately scary things you can find with a children's YouTube account.
Yeah,
So let's take a look. In terms of actual horror creators, like I said, most of us are completely filtered out. But you can still see some creators that edge outside of horror sometimes, like Blame It On George, for example, with some of his lost media videos still being viewable. If we look up some horror adjacent topic like liminal spaces, for example, it's completely absent here except for a few weird exceptions, like this 800,000 view video about creepy liminal spaces.
Liminal spaces, but it slowly gets more creepy. Is this a freaking Baphomet Satanist symbol? If this shows up on my YouTube Kids, I'm deleting that app personally.
Why is this available to watch and not Jaden Salad's liminal space videos? Enough about generic topics though. Let's look up a more recent ElsaGate kind of controversy to see if our kid's account can actually see stuff that's potentially damaging to a child.
What?
If you haven't heard about QCat AI, you should go watch Raymondo's video about it.
Who?
But in short, there are creators out there using AI image and video generators to make awful shock videos revolving around cats.
Pregnant cat sad story.
I don't really want to describe what's being done to these AI pets in these videos, but it's very violent and upsetting. Many of these QCat AI channels have luckily been banned, but it seems like more pop up.
Why do people even make some of these things? Sometimes I'm like, bro, are you a deranged human being? Like, do you have some type of like mental problem or something, bro? You gotta be off LSD, freaking perks, all the above at the same time.
Every day. Like this channel called Cat AI Dreamer. On normal YouTube, we can see horrible, violent thumbnails that are typical of the cute cat AI trend.
Okay.
Let's see if it's any different on our kids' account. While the majority of videos have been filtered out, 20 still remain, which is 20 too many in my eyes.
What is on
This is
his? What are these? I'm confused.
Pretty disappointing. I know that YouTube makes you accept a disclaimer that states you may encounter inappropriate content while using a kid's account, but the fact that Blame It On George's videos about SpongeBob lost media are filtered out, but not AI-generated animal abuse, is just plain absurd. By the
Okay.
way, if you're watching this on Patreon, I'm still censoring
Yeah, freaking animal abuse, not okay, guys. We should not be having that on YouTube Kids. YouTube moderation team, what are we doing? I feel like that should be obviously stated.
out the cat AI stuff. Sorry, but nobody should be seeing that.
Okay.
As awful as this cute cat AI stuff is, there is a reason why it's still visible to kids' accounts on YouTube. If you examine these videos from the viewpoint of the YouTube algorithm rather than just a viewer, there's not a whole lot there to indicate that there's anything amiss about these videos.
Okay.
The descriptions are all ChatGPT nonsense about heartwarming cat videos, and while the titles sometimes can contain questionable keywords, it does make sense how a bot might accidentally categorize this video as safe for kids, even though it very obviously is not. And understanding this shortcoming of YouTube's analysis of metadata pretty much explains how all inappropriate content slips through the cracks.
Okay.
And that kind of brings us to our next topic. QCat AI is just one example of an anomaly in the YouTube algorithm.
Is this freaking Morse code? Was that Morse code YouTube titles?
I made an entire video about this, so go check that out if you want to get a deeper understanding.
Okay.
But in short, the algorithm doesn't actually watch videos or understand what the content of a clip is.
So what does it do?
It only categorizes videos based on titles, descriptions, transcripts, tags, all the metadata that surrounds a video.
Okay.
But if there's something wrong with the metadata,
there's no way this is on YouTube Kids, right? There's no way this is on YouTube Kids. A guillotine to the head?
The algorithm can sometimes glitch and put videos in the wrong place. You often see this sort of thing when a video has no
Bro, what is this?
metadata except for punctuation or emojis. The algorithm has no way of knowing what the video is about, so it groups it with other videos that also have the same nonsense strings of metadata, creating unnatural niches.
Y'all seen that actual Gore?
A bit of a trend a few years ago. The most prominent example being people uploading creepy clips with the title full stop punctuation.
What does that mean?
Which is what you would see if you typed in just a period character and hit search. Even more so than QCat AI, almost all of these algorithm anomaly niches are viewable with a kid's account.
Okay, a dude with a bald chin.
A lot of these videos are actually pretty mundane in reality. Usually people just put a creepy thumbnail and the actual video is something completely different. Like this video. The thumbnail shows some dark figure crouching in a corner, but the actual video just—
What the heck is that? What is that? No. What is that? If my kid comes across this and comes up to me telling me, yo, dad, I seen this in my nightmares. I seen this on YouTube and now I'm having nightmares, bro. I'm suing the entire YouTube moderation staff. No wonder why kids be deranged these days, bro. This is the type of content they're seeing. Okay, never mind. It's just the thumbnail.
Like I said in my full algorithm anomaly video, some people take it a step too far and use actual gore photos from shock sites in their thumbnails, which I think is the worst thing we've been able to see so far with the—
I don't even understand the concept of gore for anybody, bro. I don't care if you're freaking 12, 13, 15, 25, or 37. Why are you looking at gore videos? Like, what are you getting out of it? A rush, an edge? Are you feeling like satisfied? Are you feeling pleasure? Is it turning you on? What is the feeling you get from that? Why?
One thing I did not mention in my video though is that these unnatural niches are not only focused on scary content. If you search for this nonsense group of characters with lip emojis at the end, YouTube will show you a mix of suggestively explicit and ElsaGate-esque.
Whoa. What do we got going on here? Is he sniffing her cologne? Is this a breast cancer check? What's going on here?
Show you a mix of suggestively explicit and ElsaGate-esque videos. For whatever reason, the search suggestions you get after typing in 3 @ symbols all seem to show you the same weird mix.
What is this? Show
you the same weird mix of suggestive content in ElsaGate brain.
Yo, this is actually crazy. This is actually crazy.
Looking for more algorithm anomalies.
She and her laptop gotcha heat. Yo, she's playing guitar, clearly, guys, right? Yo, every pause is just weirder and weirder.
Whenever I would search for a nonsense string of characters, my search results would always include these playlists with keyboard smash names that were all filled with kids videos.
Okay, and what's on there?
It wasn't just 1 or 2. I could find as many as I wanted as long as I kept searching. The accounts making these playlists are all adult accounts, as kids accounts don't have the ability to make public facing—
Like, YouTube Kids, are you giving like a breeding ground for like, you know, predators to walk around and like, why are you as a grown man making these weird playlists of— unless you have a kid and you feel like they're entertained by this, but otherwise—
playlists. You see, to some degree, everything we've talked about so far in this video doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you can find inappropriate and horrifying content with a kid's account on YouTube.
Yes, it does, dude. Yes, it does.
Because parents are still just handing their kids iPads that are logged into fully fledged adult YouTube accounts.
Fair.
YouTube can do all the moderation they want. But if the app doesn't know that the viewer is a child, then how is it supposed to do anything?
That's true.
The issue here isn't just YouTube doing a bad job of moderating content. A large part of this falls on the parents who aren't putting in any effort to use YouTube's child features.
Facts.
As flaky as they may sometimes be. We were talking about children's television earlier. I think the closest comparison to a parent letting a child use an adult YouTube account without any restrictions would be a kid getting unsupervised access to cable TV, but that's still not nearly as bad. Everything that goes on TV is made by professionals and moderated by humans who want to upkeep the reputation of the broadcasters they're working for.
Okay.
And the more raunchy stuff usually only comes on at night after most kids are fast asleep. YouTube is moderated by an algorithm, and there's no broadcaster reputation to uphold. Anyone can upload anything. The only real consistent thing that keeps creators in—
Is this freaking Mickey Mouse and the mustache man having a dance party, a dance off in the Arctic?
check on YouTube is the amount of attention they get.
What are the kids watching, bro?
Incentivizes channels to make more shocking content, like QCat AI. And yeah, the community guidelines can—
Father finger,
Content.
where are
Like
you?
QCat.
Here I am, how do you do? If I find out my kid is watching nursery rhymes and this guy, the German dictator of hell, spawns on my feed, I don't know what I would do. What would I even do? Do I call for help?
yeah, the community guidelines can seem overly harsh,
When did he ever wear this outfit? What is the— we YouTube kids? This is getting too weird. It's getting too weird.
but they can also be skirted around pretty easily
Her mom let me grate.
by just avoiding showing certain things on screen and avoiding saying certain words. The subject matter of a video isn't nearly as much of a factor as you might think.
Wow.
So the moral of the story here is parents should probably just be using the YouTube Kids app, right? Everything there is chosen by humans. Similarly to children's TV, you're not going to find inappropriate content on
I feel like this is gonna take a dark twist real quick.
YouTube Kids, right? Well, what's the definition of inappropriate content? If you actually take a closer look at what's available to watch on YouTube Kids, it'll probably make you think twice about putting it in front of your child. Do you really want your kid watching videos like stalker escapes from jail?
No.
What happens next will shock you.
And
No.
authorities are searching for an inmate that escaped prison on foot Thursday night via the courtyard fence. The Sacramento police say Dave Gingras escaped the Somerville Detention Center where he had been incarcerated since last winter. Gingras escaped the prison during an outing to the outdoor courtyard at around 8:30 p.m. Officers say he
What even
somehow
is
breached the
this?
fence on
Yeah, I'm
Carry it or
confused.
not, a lot of the content of YouTube Kids is bottom of the barrel, low effort brain rot.
Right.
Maybe it's not inappropriate in the sense that it's too adult or too shocking or anything that can be considered horror, but it's still just garbage. Like, do you really want your kid watching Hamster and Roller Coaster Maelstrom with a shark?
No. I mean, this is at least better than some of the other stuff we saw earlier.
You know what? I changed my mind. This is based. This video really didn't turn out like I thought it would. I genuinely thought that we'd just be looking at creepy videos that were marked as made for kids and talking about some ElsaGate kind of stuff, but there's just so much more wrong with kids content on YouTube in general.
Yeah.
I think if there's any moral to this story, it's that you probably shouldn't be showing your kids YouTube at all. Why
Damn.
not put on PBS Kids instead? It's a 100% free app and it's got infinitely better kids content than what you're gonna find on YouTube.
I didn't know that.
It requires
Yo, Wildcrats, bro. Did y'all used to watch Wildcrats? I used to watch this when I was a kid, bro. This is an amazing show. Beautiful show. My kids will be watching this.
very little effort to download an extra app, and who knows what change it might make for your kid.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't free, bro, I would encourage parents to, invest in your child's education, by putting them in front of actual good media anyways. But that's going to do it for the horrors of YouTube Kids. We learned about ElsaGate. We learned about people putting creepy thumbnails on videos, putting a random title and posting it. We learned about YouTube's sketchy moderation when it comes to YouTube Kids filtering, disturbing stuff that can be accessed by YouTube Kids. Do not just give your child unsupervised access on any social media, no matter what it says, okay? Just like YouTube tells you, their moderation is not foolproof. And as we've seen, it's not even close to foolproof, actually. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video. Make sure you link me any new videos you want me to check out. As always, it's Love You Law. I love you, and I'm out.